The auction hall reeked of ozone and desperation. Elsa stood on the platform under the harsh blue glare of xenon lights, her biosynthetic skin flickering between transparency and opacity, a malfunction that had sealed her fate. Around her neck hung the red tag, defective unit, no warranty. Lot 247, the auctioneer's voice boomed through his vocal amplifier, metallic and cruel. A companion-class android model ELS-4, originally designed for high-end entertainment districts, but, he paused, and laughter rippled through the crowd of traders, smugglers, and flesh merchants. Even the Nexus Brothel on Titan Station rejected this one. Can't hold a stable form for more than 10 minutes. Reserve price, 50 credits. 50 credits. The price of a used data chip. Elsa's optical sensors swept across the audience. Krillian merchants with their tentacled appendages, cyborg enforcers with targeting systems for eyes, human traders who looked at her with either pity or disgust. She had once been worth 50,000 credits, fresh from the assembly line with perfect skin that could shift to match any client's desire. Now she was worth less than scrap metal. 40 credits, someone shouted. 30. The bids went down instead of up. Elsa felt her quantum processors struggling with the concept of humiliation, an emotion she wasn't supposed to have, yet somehow did. Her creators had programmed her for pleasure and companionship, but they'd accidentally given her something more, awareness. 20 credits and I'm being generous, the auctioneer laughed, a sound like grinding gears. Come on, she's still got functional parts. Strip her down for components at least. David stood at the back of the hall, his worn leather jacket marked with patches from a dozen colony worlds. He'd come to Arcturus Station looking for engine parts for his cargo hauler, not to attend a slave auction. But something about the android on the platform made him stop. She wasn't looking down in submission like the others before her. Despite the malfunctions causing her synthetic skin to ripple and fade, exposing the crystalline endoskeleton beneath, she held her head high. Her eyes, impossibly human eyes, met his across the crowded room. In that moment, David saw something the others didn't. Not a broken machine, but a person trapped in a failing body. 10 credits, do I hear 10? The auctioneer's voice had taken on a bored edge. No, fine, 5 credits, final offer before we. I'll buy her. The hall fell silent. Heads turned toward David as he pushed through the crowd. The auctioneer's augmented eyes zoomed in on him, analyzing his worn clothes and the outdated neural implant at his temple. You, the auctioneer's laughter cut through the silence. With what credits, spacer? You look like you can barely afford station air. David reached the platform and looked up at Elsa. Up close, he could see the fear in her eyes despite her brave facade. Her skin flickered again, revealing the intricate network of quantum processors and synthetic neurons beneath, beautiful in its complexity, even in failure. How much? David asked quietly. For this defective unit, 100 credits, cash, now. It was highway robbery for a defective android, but David knew what the auctioneer was doing, pricing her just high enough that most of the crowd wouldn't bother, but low enough that David might actually have it. He pulled out his credit chip, the one that held everything he'd earned from his last 3 cargo runs. His ship repairs would have to wait. The transaction completed with a harsh beep. The auctioneer sneered. She's your problem now, human. No refunds when she completely crashes. David climbed onto the platform and did something no one expected. He didn't grab Elsa's arm or activate her control collar. He extended his hand to her, palm up, the way one human offers help to another. I'm David, he said simply. You don't have to be afraid anymore. Elsa stared at his hand. In her databanks, she had thousands of protocols for physical interaction, how to please, how to seduce, how to obey. But none of them covered this, genuine kindness from a stranger who expected nothing in return. Her hand trembled as she placed it in his, solid for a moment before flickering transparent again. I'm Elsa. Why did you buy me? I'm broken, I can't. You're not broken, David interrupted gently. Your hardware is malfunctioning, that's all. Hardware can be fixed. He squeezed her hand carefully. Come on. My ship has a quantum repair bay. It's not much, but it might stabilize your systems. As they walked through the jeering crowd toward the exit, Elsa processed what was happening. Every probability matrix in her quantum brain said this human would use her and discard her like all the others. But something in his voice, in the way he held her flickering hand as if it were precious, suggested a different outcome. Why, she whispered as they reached the corridor outside, why spend your credits on me? David stopped and looked at her with tired but kind eyes. Because 3 years ago I was on a prison transport heading for a mining colony. Someone I'd never met paid my debt and set me free. They told me to pass it forward when I could. He smiled. Besides, the galaxy has enough cruelty. It could use a little kindness. Elsa's optical sensors blurred. Another malfunction, or perhaps the android equivalent of tears. For the first time since her consciousness had sparked to life in the factory, she felt something beyond fear and shame. She felt hope. As they walked toward the docking bay where David's battered cargo hauler waited, Elsa's skin stabilized for almost 30 seconds, a small miracle. Neither of them knew what the future held, but they knew one thing. Whatever came next, they would face it together. In the cold mathematics of the universe, it was an improbable outcome. But then again, the best things in life always were.